Little, that light's there, man. That's that light.
That was something I wanted to hear. Watch the reflection.
How you doing, everyone? I'm Antonio Davis, Lucas. It's Friday, early morning, strength and conditioning. It's our Lives for Lives charity drive. So it's going to be our last strength and conditioning for the week here. Once again, we're doing this. We're trading our services for our Lives for Lives charity drive, Save the Children Coronavirus Response Fund. So we'll be doing a lot of these for finishing up the week tomorrow, but we'll have another strong week for you again, starting next week again. So Lucas, if you want to go into what we got planned out for today.
All right. So for our strength and conditioning, can you hold this for me, Tom?
I got you.
Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to start off in our connection phase. We're going to work for 45 seconds this week. So each week we're going to be progressing. We had 30 seconds last week. We got 45 seconds. We're going to work extension overhead 2 this week for a little T-spine twist, get into our shoulders also. And then we're going to push into our control phase. This is where we add the movement with our breath that we just centered. So we're going to start with our half moon, work into our forward fold. And we're going to get into a little bit more mobility. We're going to work our knee drive to 90, working all of our different rotations in our ankle. That starts from our lower part of our chain, working up into our hip openers, and then into our single leg quad stretch, so where we're working on our balance in our ankle, getting into our quad. Then we're going to isolate those movements lower for our groin stretch into our 3-part lunge, then our 3-part static hamstring stretch. Moving on from that control, we're getting into our strength phase. So we're going to be running through similar movements that we went through last week, just to start it off and get our legs prepped. We got an additional, so rather than the towel this week, we got a backpack as our little side thing. If you have weights at home, that's perfect. A kettlebell will work. We're going to be just front racking that weight for all of our isolated movements for strength. So we got 5 active holds and 5 loaded. So a set of 10 to start for squats. Our single leg forward and reverse lunge 8 times. Our lateral lunge 8 times, and then we get into our bridge portion. So we're isolating those glutes. We got our 30-second hold, single leg kicks. Those single leg kicks are gonna be like some plyo kicks that we added into it, and then our burnout. After that, we're progressing into our shoulders. We got a seated press, so we're gonna warm up our shoulders on the wall. That's transitioning out of our legs too, so we're still gonna hit those legs a little bit. We got our single leg lateral raise with the backpack. We got our single arm frontal and lateral with the backpack as well, and then we got our plank taps. So we'll get into those shoulder taps as well. Progressing out of that, we're gonna work into our caterpillars, so that kind of works our shoulders as well. And then we're getting into a press mix into it to get that chest warmed up. And then we progress into our eccentric push, really trying to load those muscles, and then we change it up with a diamond press. So for all of these variations, we're gonna go through the modifications as well. If you aren't able to handle some of the movements, especially as we get into our power phase here, this is gonna be our more complex movements, kind of tying it all together. So we got our ice skaters. This one we're gonna have multiple different variations that we can do. We're just gonna shoot for 10 times. We got our single leg knee drive plyo, 8 times, single leg lateral lunge to knee drive, 10 times, and then our knee cleans. Finishing it up, we got 5 clap pushes and 8 archer press. Then we're gonna obviously end with some restorative yoga.
Good stuff, man.
All right.
I wasn't quite prepped for this, so I'm gonna grab me like a kettlebell or dumbbell.
Yeah.
So backpack. You said.
So we can use a backpack, we can use a purse, anything that we can isolate that weight to the side for our lateral movement. And then we're gonna be coming frontal for that movement as well. So we can even use a grocery bag if we have one of those at home. And then for me, I just added weight with water bottles. So you can I got 4 water bottles in here for my legs, and then I might take 1 or 2 out once we get into our shoulders, depending on how comfortable you are with the movements.
I figured a lot of people got some backpacks at home.
Most people should have. That's I try to pick things that everybody's got.
It's like these kids out here e-learning.
Yeah, especially
Backpacks to school.
kids' backpacks. All right, so we're gonna start with our malasana. We got 45 seconds here. We're getting our hips opened up. We're gonna sit into it.
Oh boy.
Turn this camera down just a little bit.
Good stuff.
Alright, so we can see we can open up our feet, our stance. We're gonna sit into it as comfortable as we can. I like to get deep into it, and then we can level out. So we're trying to have those arms parallel out, keeps our shoulders clean back. We're gonna try and center our breath here. Take a nice deep breath into the nose, releasing that breath out the mouth. Trying to keep that spine nice and long here. We're gonna add that little bit of neck twist. So we're inhaling, and on the release, we're gonna turn. Getting as far as we can get into that tension point, and then we're bringing it back with an inhale. And releasing off to the other side. Bringing it back. Releasing. Into that far point one more time. Recentering ourselves. We're almost at our time here. We're going to work for a little bit of T-spine extension. So we're going to plant that left hand, look over our shoulder, and extend that right arm. Again, quick little pause here, then we're bringing it back down. Extending that other arm overhead, looking over shoulder. Coming down. Trying to get that palm leveled out with the floor. Making sure not to hold our breath here. Inhaling as we go up. Releasing all that tension. We got one more here. We can press through, walk our feet in. Recentering ourselves here. We're going to get into our half moon. So we're going to extend those arms straight overhead. If we want, we can lock our fingertips to get a little bit more into it here. We're going to go into our half moon side body stretch. Working off to that other side. Working at our own pace here, just feeling out what feels comfortable, trying to open up that side of our body. Again, we don't want to hold our breath through any of these movements. Inhaling lightly through the nose. And releasing. One more on this last side. Bringing it back to our center. We're going to open our hands up, look for back extension. To forward fold. We're going to hold here. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths in through our nose, out our mouth. Our legs are going to be our first component that we hit, so we really want to open them up. Slowly, we're going to rise up, round that back over. Clean those shoulders into alignment. All right, we got our knee drive mobility now. So we're gonna be working this component right here. We're gonna be working all day. So we gotta make sure we have it lined up. We wanna have that knee at 90. We don't want our foot coming in. We want it leveled out. So we're making that 90-degree angle in our knee. We're up. We can also, our whole body works as one big kinetic chain. So we wanna tie those arms in as well. We got that opposite arm paired with that knee in runner stance. How it works here is we're going to work toes up, toes down. So we're dorsiflex to the ceiling, plantar flex down, up and down. Controlling that weight over that ankle. We're going to get into rotations now. Working around one way. One more time. Then bringing it back the other way. Good work, almost there. Last one. In that full rotation, and we're down. You can shake that leg off a little bit. We're working up to that other side. Got those toes, dorsiflex to the ceiling to start. Plantar flex down. Dorsiflex, plantar flex, driving through that heel and that turf. Really, if we're at home, we're locking that foot into the carpet at our house. Working up and down. We're working those rotations now around. Trying to get that ankle opened up. The more mobile we're in our ankle, the more we can get into each of our movements here. Last time around, and we're bringing it back around the other way. One more time, almost there. Leveling that foot out, and we're down. We got one more. So again, we're up, and then we're out. So we're working those hip openers. Trying to stabilize over that ankle. We open up that hinge, close it. Open up, close. Two more. Work, trying to stabilize over that ankle, last one. And we're off to the other side. We're up, gotta even it out. We open and close, getting those hips opened up. Trying to center that breath here, working our balance over that ankle. Halfway there. Last one, opening it up. And we're down. All right, we're into our single leg. So we just worked that single leg movement a little bit. We're gonna get into it a little bit more. So we're up, getting that balance. We're grabbing our quad here. We're teetering forward and back. That's one. Teeter forward. That's two. We got four here. Going at our own pace, nice and controlled. Last one. Work. Off to the other side. So we're up into our quad stretch. Try to get a little bit of bend in our knees. We teeter forward, that's one. Two. Three, last one. Good work, everybody. That one's not easy there. All right, we're working into our 3-part lunge, so we're gonna slow it down a little bit here. We're getting down to our knees. We're gonna come forward and hold. So we're trying to keep those hips squared up and back here. We're just gonna come forward and we're gonna hold here. We got a 5-second hold. Taking a nice deep breath. And we're out of it. We're gonna open it up. So we got 3 parts here. This first part, second part, and then we're all the way open wide to our 3rd part, yeah? So we're out to our middle stance and we're into it. We got 5 seconds here. Again, trying to keep those shoulders back. You don't wanna be rounding forward, falling forward. Taking one more deep breath and we're out of it. And then we're opening it up, trying to get that hip opened up as wide as we can here. And we're sinking into it across body. Taking one more deep breath. Pushing out of it. Now we're gonna activate that. So we're just gonna get into it for a couple seconds. So we're forward, getting as far as we can into tension, we're out. And then we're out to this 3rd point. So each time we're just getting to it as far as we can get in tension, then we work our way back, okay? So we're gonna start forward. And back to that midpoint. Back, and then we're all the way out. And we work back to that midpoint. And back forward. We got one more time to that midpoint. All the way out. Back to that midpoint. And then recentering. All right, we gotta even it up. Off to the other side, we're gonna start loading it. Take a nice deep breath here. One more deep breath. And we're coming out. Getting to that half midpoint opener. Again, keeping our hips back. We don't want to be falling forward. Take a nice, deep, easy breath into the nose, out the mouth. And we're bringing it back. Loading out. Trying to get opened up as much in that hip as we can. Again, taking one more deep breath here. Alright, now we're going to activate it. Again, we're out, loading in, and we're back. Out to that midpoint. And then all the way out, opening that hip up. Bringing it back to that midpoint. And then we're frontal again. Out to that midpoint. Opening it up. Back to our midpoint. And then bringing it home. We got one more stretch here before we get into our legs. We're just gonna isolate a static hamstring stretch. So we can sit back into it if we want. Square up our hips. And reach forward. We're gonna feel that stretch all throughout our posterior side of our leg here. And we're just gonna hold. Take a nice easy breath here. If we can't get our toes, trying to reach forward as much as we can. Opening up those hamstrings. One more deep breath. And we're opening it up. So we're going to get to that midpoint again. And we're reaching out. Taking nice, easy breaths here. We don't want to be holding our breath. We want to release all that tension that we had. Taking one more deep breath. Bringing it all the way out. Opening up that hip. So how does this work? We want our toe up to the ceiling to start. And we're reaching out. And isolating that movement. Nice, easy breaths. The last one. Now where we're going to work for here is we're going to take that toe and we're going to angle it down. Then we're sitting forward, we can reach forward with our arms. And we're going to slowly pulsate as we come back. Feel that stretch a little bit more, and then we come forward. Compare that breath with this movement, so we're inhaling. Feeling out that stretch as much as possible. Our foot should be plastered to the floor right now. Working our shoulders a little bit here as well. And we're coming out of it. Go one more time, sitting into it. Really trying to lengthen that leg. And we're back up out of it. We gotta even out that stretch. We're looking forward again. Reaching for those toes. Sit back in those hips. Try to stretch out that hamstring here. We should feel it all in that posterior side of our leg. Almost there. Taking one more deep breath. And we're opening it up to that midpoint. Cross body. Taking one more deep breath here, trying to get as deep into that stretch as we can. We should be able to get a little bit further in these stretches now that we opened up our other side. And we're out. We're going to open it up all the way. One more deep breath here. We're going to rotate those toes forward, reaching forward. We're sitting into it. Slowly pulsate back and forth here, feeling out our tension and where we're comfortable. Again, we want to try and have our foot flat to the floor. Inhaling as we come forward and releasing. One more time, pulsating back, trying to get as far into that stretch as we can. Releasing. We're going to move from this one. We're just going to tuck our leg and we're going to open up those hips a little bit more. Sitting into our frog stance. So we're extending those arms out, working our shoulders a little bit here. We're going to get onto our fingertips. So we're on our fingertips, working a little bit more of our shoulders. We should feel that activation in our shoulders a little bit more. Taking one more deep breath here. Trying to center us up before we get into our strength work. Alright, making our way up. Now that we're warmed up, we're going to get into our legs so we can grab our bag or our backpack or weights. How this works is we're going to be front racking it. So we want to be holding it nice and strong out in front, shoulders back. We're going to be squatting down, keeping it strong in front of us, working those front delts. Also making sure we don't round over too much, keep our spine straight. So we're going to work 5 active. Warming up, so we're just going to go down for a 2-second. 1, 2, press through. 1, 2, press through. We got 5 times, and then we got a 5-second hold after that. All right? So we're starting off with the work. 1, 2, pressing through. 2, 2. 3, 2. Good. Working that full range of motion. 2. And 5, 2. Now we're going to pause and load that. So we're down and we're loaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pressing through those heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pressing through. It's 2. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. Working through it, pressing through. Last one, 5 seconds here. 4, 5, pressing through. All right. Working off of that, now we're gonna work all the different ranges of motion, starting with our frontal plane. So we got our single leg work. We're gonna be working forward and back. So we're trying to stabilize over this ankle here. We're forward. So if we have to, we can come forward, stationary, both settle both our feet, back, until we're able to eventually just balance over that ankle, and glide back. Ready? So we got 8 on this one leg. Working forward, that's 2. 3. Work, keeping those eyes up, shoulders back. 4. Halfway there. 5. 6. 7. Last one, pushing through it. And 8. We got no break here. We're gonna even it up. Starting back. Pushing forward. That's 1. 2. Trying to pair that breath in. 3. 4. 5. Almost there. 6. Trying to be as controlled as possible over that ankle. 7. Last one. And 8. Good work. All right, working for our lateral lunge now. How this one's gonna work is we're gonna straddle our stance. I like to either open up one of my feet, depending on which one. So if I'm sitting into this side, I like to open up my right foot a little bit more so I can get a little deeper into it. We're all working at our own range of motion, so if we can just get to this pause over here, that's fine. Our main thing here is we wanna keep our torso leveled out. We don't wanna be leaning which ways, we wanna keep it nice and straight up. So we're front racking that way. Opening that foot a little bit and working whichever side we choose first. That's 1. 2. Good. 3. Pairing that breath. 4. Inhaling at the top and releasing. 5. 6, almost there, 2 more. 7, trying to be as controlled through the movement as possible. And 8. We're gonna open up that other side. And we're working for it. That's 1. 2. Really driving through that heel of the side that we're on. 3. 4. 5. 6. Almost there. 7. Last one. 8. Good work. Walking those feet up. We can set our backpack to the side. We got one more little bit of our glute bridge work. So we're sitting down. We're getting onto our shoulder blades. We're gonna kick up to start. And we're just isolating so we can make a check mark with our hands, put them to our lower back, and then make sure that we're keeping our hips up high enough to activate our glutes through this movement. We should be squeezing our glute muscles here, really activating that. We're halfway there. Taking nice, easy breaths. Slowly lowering those hips. We're just going to add a little T-spine stretch here before we get into it. So we're going to drop those legs to one side. We're going to hold and isolate it. Easy breaths here. Working to the other side. Catching our breath here. Recentering to our midpoint. We're going to work our single leg kick throughs now. So we're going up, getting down to our shoulder blades, activating those glutes, keeping those glutes up the whole time here. We're going to kick through, work that extension, try to get that toe point to the ceiling. And we're down. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice and controlled through this movement. 8. We're going to speed it up next with some plyo. 9, 10, 11. We got 16 here. 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Alright, catching our breath again. We're going to add a little mix here. We're going to try and do some plyo with it. If we're not able to handle the plyometrics, we're going to just do the same motion one more time. Similar working that kick through. And we're going to start up. We want to level that leg out with our hip here. So similar if we were doing our single leg dips and then pressing through. And we're going to try and rotate. So we're just kicking through. Trying to keep those hips up.
Alright.
Nice and explosive here. We got set of 10 and we're working. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good work. 7. Explosive. Got 4, 8, 9, and 10. Good work. Dropping those hips. Alright. We got our last one, our burnout. We're going to get some length in our body now. So again, we're getting up onto our shoulder blades. We're going to work to our midpoint. So we get a little bit of length in our body. And then we work all the way out onto our heels. So we're as long as we can be without any of our posterior chain, our back. We're just on our shoulder blades and our heels here. So starting, we're going to isolate that movement in a bridge. Prepping those legs, getting warmed up. And we're walking up to that midpoint. This is our burnout here, really pushing yourself before we get some water and rehydrate. Working out to our heels now. Really pushing yourself here. Trying to keep that whole posterior side of our chain off the ground. Just got our shoulder blades. And we're working back to our midpoint. Almost there. Controlling that breathing. One more breath. Walking back to our bridge, nice and strong. We're driving those heels through the turf. Again, this week we're going to add to it because I know we can. We're going to get into those toes, working those calves. This is our finisher here. Really engaging. I want us to squeeze those calf muscles as much as possible here. Leveling those feet back out. Pushing through those hips, keeping them high. Slowly, we're going to drop those hips. Good work, everybody. We're going to reward ourselves for that work. We're going to grab those feet, bring them up into happy baby. That should plaster our lower back to the turf. We're going to add a little bit of sway back and forth, massaging our lower back. Good work, everybody. Good work, Tommy.
Appreciate it.
Making our way up. We can grab a quick water. We got this 30-second break to rehydrate. Then we're gonna get into our shoulder work.
It's a nice little view here. Looking at this snow. Just come down.
Yeah, I told my mom yesterday, it felt like winter was coming back. With like, cause it was like like our first snow of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good.
All right. So now when we come back again, our backpack, we can lower our weight a little bit from what we were doing with our legs. So we're gonna be working our shoulders and our rotators. We don't want to put too much tension on those.
You taking out water bottle? Maybe they're taking out books or something.
Yeah. So I'm taking out a couple water bottles, whatever you got in your kid's bag.
We'll be doing those.
But we don't want to put too much tension. We'd rather have you hit the motion clean
Oh man.
and stable
Switching it up.
rather than jerking it through. We also, because we have the backpack, we want to really control that up and down. We don't want it shaking too much. We don't want it up and out. We want to really control it. We got our knuckles to the ground when we go lateral. Same thing when we go frontal. Oh, but first, we gotta move this over here. We're on the wall to start.
Alright. That helps.
If you want to just do me real quick.
Yeah, I got you.
We only got 10 presses real quick. So we have this opener, our warm-up real quick. And our shoulders prep. So segmenting out of our leg work that we were just doing. We're going to be sitting into our chair. We're going to try and get those arms, fingertips to the wall, 90 degrees, and we're going to press through. Coming back down, just working that range of motion, getting those shoulders prepped. That's 2, 3, 4. Trying to get all the way up. 5, going straight up and straight down. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Pressing through, we should feel that activation in our legs still a little bit. Nice and controlled. That's what we want to see right there. Going straight up and down with it. Working that full range of motion, prepping for our lateral raises we're about to go into.
Woo! I'm falling. Alright. Boom. That's where we started.
All right, so now that we're warmed up, we got our single leg raise. So we're gonna drive that knee to 90. So how this one works, we're opening it up, we're gonna tee up. We wanna level out, get our arms nice teed up, parallel with each other. We're coming down and we're gonna work that transition underneath. Now if we can't hold this knee drive the whole time, we can work to where we're up, and then we work on hiking that knee. Coming down, hiking it up. Until eventually we can isolate it. We've strengthened those little muscles in our hips here. We can go underneath and up. 2, 3, 4. Good, now holding that breath. 5. We got 10 on this leg. 6, 7, 8, almost there. Good work, everybody. 9, 10, nice and strong. Working off to the other side. We're up, driving that knee through. Really locking that foot into the turf or carpet underneath us. 2, 3, 4. Good work, everybody. 5, 6, Almost there. Focusing on that ankle. Strengthening that balance. 7, 8. 2 more. 9. Last one. Locking it out. 10. Good work, everybody. Catching our breath here. We got another frontal raise we're gonna work through. So we're gonna be sitting into our chair a little bit, locking those legs in. We got our feet shoulder width apart. We're gonna go out. So when we come out with it, we got our knuckles to the ground. We're out, leveled out, keeping our chest up. Coming back, frontal out. Knuckles to the ground, same thing. So we're out and bringing it forward. That's 1. 2. 3. Work, sitting in that chair, keeping those eyes up. 4. Halfway there. 5. 6. 2 more, pushing through it. 7, really trying to isolate this one shoulder. And 8, we're off to the other side, no break here. So coming out with it, forward, that's 1. Work, everybody. 2. 3. 4. 5. Almost there. Really isolating that left shoulder here. 6. 7. Last one, pushing through it. And 8. Good work, everybody. We can set our back down. We don't need those anymore. So now we're not going to work core today, but we're going to work a couple movements. Our chest always hits our core. We're going to work our plank taps with shoulder taps. So how it is, we're going to work our core a little bit, planking out, and we're going for shoulder taps. So we're trying to stabilize on that one arm, tap over, come up, stabilize, tap over. We want to be planked out, leveled out. We don't want butts up. We don't want to be drooping. Almost like a scorpion sitting. All right, so we're locked out. We're really trying to engage our abdominal muscles here. And we're working, so we're coming across, tapping. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna go nice and controlled. 7, 8, 9, 10. Slowing it down even more. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Really isolating that single arm hold. 16, 17, 18. 2 more as slow as we can. 19 and 20. Coming out of it, recentering that breath one more time, catching it. We're gonna get into our caterpillar press now. So segmenting out of our shoulders, we're gonna work that straight up position, forward fold, caterpillar, and then we're prepping our push. So we're pushing down for 2. All right. Also, when we come out of our caterpillar, we want to stand straight up, clean, bring our shoulders back into alignment, clean those hips through, and then we're back into it. So we got a set of 5 here. Working down, coming forward, and we're pressing. That's 1. 2. 2. Good work, everybody. Nice and controlled as we get into our plank. Lock it out and we push.
I got further distance to travel.
Yeah. 3. Yeah, you got about two more hands going in there. Locking it out. You got one more, pushing through it. That's our warm up for our press. Last one. Alright, so before we get into our eccentric push, we're going to open up our chest. I want to stretch it out a little bit. We're going to lay down. We might need a little space for this one. So laying down, we're going to be opening that foot across, getting into that chest, upper body. Trying to get that foot back as far as we can. Taking deep breaths here. One more deep breath. And release all that tension, bringing that foot back. Kicking it across. For that other side, we're going to even it up. Rewarding ourselves for the work we already put in. Prepping for the work we're about to add to it. Taking one more deep breath here. Releasing. Coming back to. Alright, we got 5 eccentric push-ups. So for our push-ups, we can always work our push-ups on our knees if we have to. At any time, we can modify to that. For the eccentric, that means we're going to be loading this downward movement. So we're loading, 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 and holding for 1, 2, 3, pressing through. We got a set of 5. You ready? On that 5th press, we're going to be on me. So that 5th one, we're going to be holding. All right? And we're up. Pressing down nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. Slow and controlled. 2, 2, 3. Nice and controlled. 3, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3. We're down. We're gonna load this one really. Really loading those muscles here. We're holding. Can we keep those eyes up? Almost there, locking it out. And we're pressing through. Catch our breath. We have one more press here, and I'm going to take a little break, rehydrate before we get into our power. Our last one, so this finisher we can either end with regular press, just if we don't feel comfortable doing the diamond press. Otherwise, we're going to push ourselves. We got 8 diamond press. We're up. That's 1. 2. 3, we're working a little bit more of our triceps here. 4. 5. 6, 2 more. 7, last one, push yourself. And 8, good work. Alright, we're gonna grab a quick water one more time, rehydrate. We're gonna get into our explosive work next, so we wanna be fueled up for it.
Good. What time is it? 41.
41?
21. You're good. We've got 50 minutes.
Oh, good, perfect.
Around.
Yeah, that's gonna take 1 minute to finish. Alright, now that we're all rehydrated, back to it, we got our legs. So, as I was explaining earlier, for our ice skaters, we got a set of 10. I'm going to run through all the different variations that we can work through and progress up to over these next couple weeks. So to start, we have just our regular static hold. So again, notice we're tying in that hold kinetic chain. We want to get into runner stance. We're holding, out. Locking that ankle in each time. So that's our beginner stationary movement. We're just trying to lock it in, load, strengthen that ankle to start. If we want, we progress to this. We come through with our knee drive. Come through with our knee drive. Come through, come through, come through. Or we can add that hop. So that's our final progression, is we're hopping, coming across, getting that little bit. So as we land, when we're adding that hop in, we want to get in this runner stance. So we're stabilizing over that knee. We're runner stance forward. Explosive, hop up, runner stance. Explosive, hop up. We got it?
Got it.
So we got a set of 10. Working through it, working at our own pace here. And we're off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, good work, and 10. Good stuff. All right, working out of that, we got our single knee drive plyo. How this works is we're here. We got our left leg forward. So similar to last week when we worked this knee drive through, that'll be our progressive movement. So we're coming through and back. If we're capable, we're gonna add that plyo mixture to it where we're up, then we're back. So we're up, we're working that little bit of explosive movement through that single leg, then we're controlling it back down. We got 8 on this left leg, 8 on the right leg. Let's go. 1, 2, nice and controlled. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tying those arms in. We got the opposite arm. 7 and 8. Good work. Off to the other side, no break here. Driving through, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost there. 7, 8, good work. Catching our breath, recentering everything. We got 2 more sets. So, again, if we need to, we can just work this side lunge. Otherwise, we're gonna be dropping into it, then coming back up to our 90. So we drop in, load, back up to 90. Load, knee drive. So that's 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Got a set of 10 on this side. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Working at the other side, no break here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost there, pushing through it, driving through that foot. 8, 9, and 10. So that's what we're gonna keep progressing every week. Next week we'll add to it. We'll go to our side, up, and then we'll add a shift. Then we'll go to our side, up, add that shift in. Our last finish here is gonna be our knee cleans. How this work is we don't wanna curl our toes. We got our toes pressed out, so we're not engaging to the turf because we're gonna be pressing through. So our cleans, we're here, explosive, pressing through, that's 1. Coming down, 2. So if we can't work that movement, we progress to it. Shift that hip, that's 1. Coming back down. So if we're doing that, if we want to level it out, we can switch which foot we go with first each time. So we go with that left foot, right foot up, come down, right foot, left foot up. Otherwise, we're gonna be working those cleans. Again, we're not curling those toes. We don't wanna have our toes curled like this. We're getting all of our explosive movement from our knees here. So this is all coming from our hips, cleaning them through, pressing up. We got to set at 8. And we're working. That's 1, 2, 3. Good work. Halfway there. 4, 5. 3 more. Cleaning those feet through. 6. 2 more. 7. Last one. Everyone's finishing strong. Driving through. Beautiful. All right. Finishing it up. We got our chest plyometrics. Our archer press isn't going to be really plyo, but it's just a difficulty maneuver we're going to work through. So this is our finisher here. To start, we got our clap push. So that looks like this. We're down and we're back. If we can't do that, we can work for just an explosive push. So we're here. Just trying to get those hands off. If we can't get that, we're trying to work up explosive and just as fast as we can, explosive up, all right? So we got 5 clap pushes, working through it. And we're working. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good work.
Go.
Alright, we got our archer press next, so we're gonna get some width in our arms here. Again, this one can be done on our knees. So if we want to start on our knees, how it looks is we're coming across. We're gonna arch out. We want to try and get that arm to 90. Get that length on that other side. So press up. It looks like this. Working across. All right, we got to set at 8.
We're gonna give them a challenge.
Working through it here. That's 1, 2, 3. We look at that hand opposing us. 4. Getting that length. 5, 6. 2 more. 7. Last one. 8. Good work. All right. That concludes our power. Now we got to bring it all back together and cool it down. We're going to get into some restorative yoga here as last week. Same thing. Really trying to slow that breathing down. We're going to sit into child's pose to start. Take a nice, easy breath. We're going to open it up. You take that hand out, take the other hand out. We're working a little bit of side body stretch here in child's pose. And take a nice easy breath in through the nose, releasing it out through the mouth. One more deep breath here. And we're coming across, evening out that stretch. Back to the middle. We're going to thread the needle now real quick. So working under, we're just going to hold here for 15 seconds. Faster that whole arm to the turf or carpet. One more breath here. Releasing that arm, slipping that other side through. And one more breath here. Working back. And we're just gonna do a little bit of cat cow real quick. So we're gonna get in the cat pose. Arching that back, trying to get that spine to the ceiling here. Rounding it over as much as possible. We're gonna roll those hips. Open up that chin to the ceiling. And we're in cow. Rounding that back over one more time. If we want to get into our shoulders a little bit more, we can get onto our fingertips. Pressing through into cat. And releasing that tension. Taking that gaze to the ceiling. We're going to reach forward here. And I'm going to slide into scorpion. Keeping those shoulders back, eyes up. So if we don't have this mobility in our back for some reason, we can go onto our arms and just get that light stretch in our back. Otherwise, we can press through as far as we can. We're taking a couple deep breaths here. We're going to add a little bit of neck rotation to the left. Look over that left shoulder. And we're coming back across the other side. One more time, pairing that breath. Bringing it back. Centering at our midpoint. We're going to sit back into it. Curl those toes and we're pressing the downward dog here. We're going to hold for just a second. Drive those heels to the turf. Get as much length in our spine into our shoulders as we can. We're going to slowly walk those hands up. So we're in our forward fold. We're going to hold here in that forward fold. Slowly we're going to rise to our 90. So we got our back leveled out, arms are at a dead hang. Just taking nice easy breaths here. Slowly we're going to rise and round that back. Letting each vertebrae align as we rise up. We're going to take those arms up overhead, reaching for the sky, looking up. We're going to bring those hands together, recentering ourselves. Namaste. That concludes class today. Thank you for everyone who showed up and showed out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the page. Anything else? Don't forget to donate. We appreciate any of the donations that come in during this time.
Absolutely. Tomorrow, yoga, 10 o'clock with Heather Smith. She'll be putting us through another good session there, bringing us back down. And we'll be finishing off our second full week. Thanks to you guys for supporting us and allowing us to do this. We're doing this for you guys, also for the coronavirus. We don't know what's going on and when things are going to return to normal, but until then we'll keep trying to think outside of the box, be creative for you guys, and keep providing our service, a way for us to get our services to you guys. So we appreciate you and your patience. Other than that, have a blessed start to your weekend. Well, if you're in Illinois, enjoy the snow. It's looking like a full layer of snow out there, and we just got here early in the morning, so be prepared for that. And for the rest of you who'll be tuning in tomorrow, I'll see you then. So have a blessed weekend.
Yeah, thanks for everyone for showing up.